If this doesn't change in my business, I know my business is destined for failure. Today's gonna be like a mini day in the life. I'm gonna be bringing you along with me. We're gonna be doing the thing. We're gonna be completing tasks. What is it exactly that I do in this business? So we're gonna be kind of going over some of the items that have sold over the weekend. Today is Monday, and I think we got about 48, 49 items to be shipped out. I'm also going to be showing you my listing process, my photo process, how I go about exactly running this business. And if you clicked on this video and you saw the title, you're probably wondering what I'm exactly doing. So the things that I've been putting in my resale business, and specifically in eBay, have been really bad over the past year, not up to the standards and the quality that I should have set on myself. So we're going to be going over all the processes of how I'm looking to kind of eliminate those items from my business. I have about 10,000 items in my store. What I'm going to be doing to get rid of those items and some of the new items I'm putting in. But first things first, we got to get some coffee, and then we'll start getting some of those items pulled to get shipped out.
Got a couple of threads, vintage and unique. Gonna sell them on eBay, make someone's day complete.
All right, while the coffee is brewing, I just want to take some time to answer some of your guys' questions. This is from Brand SR71. Some of the items have in your profit margins seem like a grind still, since you're talking about changing your model. And when you start any business, it's going to be a season of grind, of hard work, season of sacrifice. While things could be easier if I was picking up better items, and that's just something that I'm learning constantly in my business, that of course, you don't want to spend your whole day, sourcing junk, or buying in bulk, and 75% of it is terrible items. So these are the things that I'm learning in the last year in my business, that don't spend the time or waste any energy on items that you just don't feel good about listing. So while I do think that when you start any business, there's going to be a season of sacrifice, there's going to be a season of grind, so you can learn the systems, learn the processes, and then eventually hire those processes out. So I'm still in that season of kind of transitioning my whole business, and going from listing 50 items a day, over a year ago, and switching that to more quality versus quantity. I hope that makes sense. But this business, if you're getting into reselling and you think you want to do it full time, and you think it's just like press the easy button, no, it's not. It takes a lot of grit, persistence, determination. Have to have a vision for your business, and you have to know what exactly are you trying to accomplish. So that's kind of key, and knowing that will make the grinding purposeful. Some people grind for years and they just don't know why. So I think establishing and doing any business, you're going to go through that season of working those longer hours. But right now I'm working only about maybe 3 to 4 hours a day in my reselling business. So that's not too bad. I would actually like to work more in it, because there's going to be a lot of changes that I'm making. So another question from user VW4TQ6SB4Y. Was just asking about Levi's, and like how to tell if they're real or fake. And number one is going to be like the stitching. Of course, you really want to pay attention to the detail. And if you have an authentic pair of Levi's and you have one that's maybe suspect, you just want to compare the two. So check the stitching. That's always an obvious thing to look out for, because you'll see the stitching be crooked or off on some of those fakes. And then also checking the back, the manufacturer stamp on the button. So you should see like a 4-digit number, and that's going to be the manufacturer code on the back of the button. That's how you'll be able to tell whether they're real or fake. And then you're just going to want to check other things, make sure that the tags are something that you've seen before. And, those are the 3 things that you want to check. But I hardly ever see, as much as I've sourced Levi's, I don't think I've ever come across a fake pair of Levi's. So hopefully that's helpful, but that's kind of what I suggested in the comments anyways. Just check the back manufacturer stamp on the back button. Typically fakes wouldn't have that. All right, and someone had commented, and the Silly Sills, that's just the name, asking if anyone needs clothing. They have about 600 pieces of new at tag clothing. Got it from a clean out. They live, the thing for me, cat fight. The one thing is I don't live in Pennsylvania, so I live in Oregon. If anyone is interested and lives maybe close to Pennsylvania or anywhere on the East Coast, they have about 600 pieces of new at tag clothing that could possibly be helpful for you in jumpstarting your business. If you are interested, contact me on Instagram or just leave a comment in this video and let's connect, and hopefully you could pick up some good stuff for a pretty decent price.
Faded denim jackets, old panties and more. Hunting down the treasures in thrift stores I explore.
Got the coffee, got everything set up to pull orders. It is Monday, so we got a good bit to pull. I guess I'll just show you what are some of the first things that I do. We need to get a box to be able to put all the orders in. I basically just use it's a 8 by 8 by 32 size box here to put all the orders in. And then I just basically use my phone to grab the orders as they come in on eBay, and I just put them in order. So that way when I get onto the shipping screen on eBay, the bulk shipping screen, it's just really easy, seamless for me to weigh the item, print the label, and get it packaged for a pickup. So let me grab my phone and we'll start pulling these orders. All right, so we had 45 total on eBay, totaling a little under $1,000, and then 2 or 3 on Poshmark. So about 47, 48 orders going out. Not terrible, but you could see that the total was a lot lower than what we usually expect, which is fine, being that, you know, I'm starting to just liquidate a lot of this inventory that's really, really bad. You know, like, just what was I thinking? And just learning from these mistakes, like hindsight. This time last year I was buying bulk bales, I was buying wholesale, I was trying to make things easy, you know, like taking the easy way out, just have items delivered to me. There are good parts about that, but then there's also bad parts. So those are the things that I'm learning from. I want to show you guys how I'm going to be rebuilding this business, to know that you can make mistakes, but it's just as long as that you identify them and then correct them. So all these clothes here that are piled up still need to be hit with a custom SKU and put away. So my ideal goal with these piles of clothing is to actually go through them all and see if it's even worth keeping that listing up or just taking it down. So that's what I've been doing every day, is putting away about 60, 70 pieces of clothing, and usually there's about 10 to 20 pieces in there that I'm just ending the listing. I'm like, this isn't even worth having in my store anymore. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'll show you how I process that and stuff. So maybe it could be helpful, maybe not, but it's just so important to not put anything that you think you know, is a bad item, and don't spend time taking photos and listing it. We all learn from our mistakes. Be a lifelong learner, have that beginner's mindset all the time, because you learn all new things, you know, especially when it comes to clothing. You know, the seasons change, fashion changes, so just always be learning is a key principle. So our first order is 19917. It's a Coldwater Creek top, size large. This was listed probably 6 months ago. Let's see, 917. So it's way back here. Coldwater Creek. The one thing that I've been focusing on is staying away from women's clothing just in general. I think now that I'm listing 20 items a day, I'm able to find 20 good men's items a day, as long as I go sourcing about 3 to 4 times a week. So this women's top size large, it is Coldwater Creek, sold for $17.95 plus $8.95 shipping. And for example, you know, this is a Theory 100% wool sweater I just picked up at the Goodwill yesterday. If you're not familiar with that brand, that's a really good brand to be picking up. So these are the types of items I want to be putting in my store. I did pay $8. This was not on discount, but that's okay because this has a 50% sell-through rate, especially now that things are warming up. I thought that was pretty good, and sells for $35 to $45. So those are the things that I'm trying to put more and more of in my store. You know, so that's a good example. Things that have really helped, you know, speed up the process in picking these orders is this type of inventory system. You know, from the racks to the boxes to all the SKU numbers, it just really helps make things a lot quicker. You don't lose orders. So I'm all about speed and efficiency. If you guys are looking to get into reselling and you want to develop a system like this where you have racks and organized boxes in sequential order, just check out linked below. I have the boxes, the racks, the poly bags, everything listed in the description from what I use. So it's just been really helpful. You know, as you grow, you buy more racks, you buy what you need, and then you consolidate as you sell these orders. So, you know, bins are great to start, but I think staying in bins over the long time, just you lose a lot of time, you lose a lot of orders, and you lose a lot of patience. So, for example, like this sold Buffalo David Bitten jeans new with tags, size 32-30, sold for $25 plus shipping. This came from the storage unit buyout I did about 1.5 years ago. So it took quite a long time to sell these. This is a really good example of putting quality in the store. So these are 2 vintage camo pieces by the brand Clarkfield, some pants and a jacket. I could have priced them up a little bit more, but they sold in one day. I picked these up from an estate sale on Friday. It is Clarkfield. Let's see, maybe you guys know the brand, maybe you don't, but that is the tag there. Made in USA. These are just some hunting jacket and a pair of hunting pants here. So I should have picked up more. There was probably like 4 or 5 pairs of pants, but we were on our way out, so I just grabbed, you know, one pants and 1 jacket. So this was nice because I bought these for $1, $1 here, $1 on the jacket, and they sold for about $52 plus $12.95 shipping, and they sold in one day. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why I love this business. And, you know, I'm learning every day. You know, I'm not, this ain't, you know, like on my BOLO list, but it's cool that you could find value no matter where you step. If you step in an estate sale, a yard sale, whatever it may be, there's always value there. And if you take the time to look stuff up, you have no idea what you may come across. And that is why I love this business. All right, next up is this kind of messenger bag. This is by the brand Juicy Couture. A really nice heavy-duty canvas bag, new with tags. If you could see there, the original price was about $300. This sold for $50. $50 plus $12.95 shipping. I'll probably just ship this Ground Advantage in a box. But this took 1.5 years to sell. So while I am very thankful for the sell, that is something that I'm trying to avoid in my business, to just not pick up items that take almost 2 years to sell. All right, so we had these vintage Ralph Lauren jean shorts, size 31, sold for $15 plus shipping. All right, so we had this awesome blazer sale, also from this storage unit I bought out almost 2 years now. This is the brand Chiavari, made in Italy, 100% wool. Had a $200 MSRP, sold for $20 plus shipping. Here is a men's button-up shirt by Tommy Hilfiger. Not something I would be picking up nowadays, but this is new with tags. I pick up a lot of new with tag stuff. You'd be surprised on, just some of those lower end brands, if they are new with tags, some of the sell-through rates on some of these items are pretty good, even though this took forever to sell. This item is over a year old, I think due to it being the size. This is a size small for men. So, maybe something where it was an extra large, a large, something of a better size, this could have sold a lot faster. So this sold for 18 bucks plus shipping. These are some men's Banana Republic utility pants, size 30-30. Nice canvas, new with tag pants. These sold for $20 plus $8.95 shipping. This is a women's extra large fleece vest by the brand Woolrich. Picked this up at the mom and pop thrift store for about $3. Bought it 3 months ago and it sold for 20 bucks plus $12.95 shipping. I think I forgot to change the shipping price on this, so I'm actually surprised it's sold. Woolrich is a decent brand, and the thing that I liked about this is it's an extra large. So that is a good sell-through rate size, especially for like women's tops or anything women's, just the bigger size, the better. But yeah, so this sold. That was a nice sale. Now I want to get into a comment that very relevant for the times. I'm going out sourcing about 3 to 4 times a week over the last few weeks. I've been able to find some really nice items as I develop my thrift route. But this is a comment from Nerd Reselling. Says, times are a-changin'. I saw a guy at the opening of our thrift store, more or less just ran to the jeans area. I then see them maybe 15 minutes later carrying a mountain of jeans. I heard him say, I don't have time to lose getting a cart. These other guys will have already snagged the good pairs, but it also seemed like he was super stressed. So yeah, I mean, for example, I've been to a couple sales last week where I thought I was going to be early by 20 to 30 minutes, and there was already a line around the door. There was already a line of people waiting in their car to do a yard sale or an estate sale. So I think, if you're not getting there as early as possible, and especially if your thrift store doesn't break out new inventory throughout the day, that's just going to be your best opportunity to get these items. As the reselling community grows, we really got to make it and stress that, hey, maybe I need to go sourcing instead of 1 or 2 times a week. Maybe I need to go like 4 times a week or every day, just to be able to have that competitive advantage. So that's something that I learned, over the last year, is that, going out once a week is not going to work anymore. So that's a great comment. That was very relevant because all last week, I was thinking I was going to get there early and I was going to get the best stuff. Well, 30, 40 other resellers had the same thing in mind. And the crazy thing is that these towns are super small, 15,000, 20,000 people, and there's that many resellers maybe coming from Portland or Salem or Eugene and, just waiting in line for the good stuff.
Got some threads to sell and it's so much fun. Logging into eBay, listing all my clothes from the 90s fashion, that's how it goes.
All right, so I don't pick these up often, but this was actually found in that storage unit buyout. It is a yoga towel by Yoga Rat. It is a microfiber yoga towel, like it says. It is a 26 by 72. It actually sold for $28 plus $8.95 shipping. And that's kind of what I want to touch on right now, is that after I made that buy, in hindsight, all of the money that came in, I should have just poured right back into the business. But instead, we used the funds to start another business. We used the money to kind of hit the easy button in the reselling business. Looking back now, and that purchase was over a year and a half ago, I should have just taken all of the money and poured it right back into this business to grow it. Now I'm kind of stuck between that rock and a hard place where I now need to use extra additional funds to go out and buy better and better items. Whereas what I did was basically just like how can I get inventory to come to me? How can I buy more wholesale so that I don't have to go sourcing or thrifting? And while that works for some people, I just wasn't set up, nor did I have the sources around me to be able to provide good quality inventory. So, looking back at that purchase is a great lesson to learn, to go, hey, what's something I could have done better? And now looking back at it, with another year of learning from my mistakes, I should have bought, maybe a little bit more online and retail arbitrage with that money that was coming in. I should have, made a habit to go to 3 or 4 thrift stores a day, every day, to be able to, instead of buying stuff from the bins or buying stuff wholesale, to be able to just buy better and better items. So that's one of the things I wanted just to mention to you guys. Whenever you come after a big buy or something that was really successful that kickstarts your business, and it just takes one of those purchases to change your life and to change your business, make sure that you can use the funds to pour back into your business to continue to build it up. So it's like building that solid foundation, right? So, when I made that purchase a year and a half ago, I was only a year and a half into my reselling journey full time. So now that I have, 3 years of experience now, anytime that happens again, any big purchase, I'm going to just, put the funds back into the business, which is what I'm doing now. My cost of goods, I was usually spending about $1,000 a month, $800 a month over the last year. Now I'm spending at least double that, bringing better items into my store. So on a lot of my items that are over a year old, I have a 50% markdown sale running, and this is part of it. These Prana pants, these had a stain on them, and they sold for $9 plus $9 shipping. I guess the very best part of running that markdown sale is at least I could get my money back and make a little bit of money, and then use that to just buy the best items possible. Prana is a good brand, but I believe this item had a good couple like grease stains around it, and that's just not something I'm wanting to put in my business anymore. Just really eliminate the flaws the best that I can. Not saying that I won't pick up like Levi's that have, some distressed or holes or stains, but something like, if I see a pair of Prana pants next time that have a ton of stains, I'm gonna pass, because this item took a year to sell. Here's something that sold relatively quickly, but not for a ton of money. So it sold in about a month. This is an Eddie Bauer women's sweater, size extra large. It is vintage. So baseball season is starting up. So this is a Pittsburgh Pirates hoodie, men's size small, listed about a month ago, sold for $16 plus shipping. And I just want to stress the importance of learning as fast and as best as you can from people that are doing it on a big, large scale. Go and listen to the people that are at a certain level where you want to be. Example, tech and sports, daily refinement, people that are reselling, whether it's on eBay, whatnot, or whatever, that did it or are doing it on a big level, and just take notes, take gold nuggets, take principles from how they ran their business, and try to see what you can apply in your business. I want to give a shout out to a few channels that I think everyone should subscribe to. The first one is Resale Brothers. I don't know. Okay, there's focusing. I'll put all these channels linked down below. Resale Brothers, they are crushing it. Absolutely crushing it on on YouTube as well, but on eBay. You're gonna want to subscribe to their channel. Really good. And these are just things you could listen to in the background. Brian Roning, a very underrated channel. This guy goes out and crushes it. Good thing to put on while you're listing or taking photos, just seeing what other people are picking up, especially if you're a beginner out there and you want to get into reselling clothing and you just don't know what to pick up. Just put some of their videos on in the background so you could get familiar with some of the brands. So you could check out Brian's channel down below. Another one is Sean with Taylor Exchange, blowing up on YouTube. You can learn a lot from his channel, a lot of how-to stuff as well. But again, learning brands is going to be one of the most important parts when you are just starting out, because when I first started out, I knew about 4 brands, and that was about it. So being able to just learn from other people and figuring out what they're picking up, that's going to be really helpful for you if you are a beginner. And another channel, K&M Resell, doing amazing. They are just crushing it, absolutely dominating on eBay. That's why I don't believe in the whole is eBay dead or is eBay over theory, because there are people that are just dominating on eBay. So K&M Resell, you could put on some of their stuff in the background, some good how-to stuff. He has a great video on how to build a photo setup. So you could find all their channels linked down below. Go and support them, go and show them love. Even though it's still warming up, we sold quite a few sweaters and blazers and jackets and puffer vests over the weekend. So, you know, there's something interesting about picking up stuff that's heading out of season. It still will sell. It's just the search volume, especially on eBay, drops in a lot of these categories like hoodies, jackets, and we could go into Terapeak and I could show you what I'm talking about, but really cool to still see some of these jackets sell. All right, we got a nice combined order going out. These are some vintage Wrangler pair of pants and then some Fieldmaster pants. So these were a combined order. They paid $16 plus $8.95 shipping. And we had this American Eagle kind of messenger bag, sold for $14 plus $8.95 shipping. I should be able to just fold this up and ship it in a poly bag, Ground Advantage. This is a women's plus size top by the brand Erica. It's a 2X, sold for $15 plus $8.95 shipping. All right, so now we have it all ready in these boxes as the orders came in on eBay. So it makes it a lot easier to just pull up the bulk shipping screen and pack these orders. So usually it's gonna take me between 30 minutes, 45 minutes to get all 50 of these packaged up. I just put them in these tubs here and then set them outside for USPS to come pick them up. So let's get to that. All right, so we got 3 tubs all packed up, ready to go. Took me about 30 minutes. And people ask from time to time, like, what type of poly bags do you use? What type of thermal printer? And yada, yada. It's all linked down below. The scale that I use to confirm the weights on the packages, linked down below. It's just a simple Accutech, nothing fancy. I use 13 by 16 poly bags for about 90% of my orders. I ship a lot at Ground Advantage. And I just have a simple laptop here where I can just go to the bulk shipping screen and print out all the necessary labels for the day. And then I have simple things like, you know, measuring tape if I need to measure boxes, scissors, and some razors. So don't overthink it. Just set up something simple. I have all my extra supplies down here, labels as well, because you never want to run out of labels for your 4x6 thermal printer. And that's how it is. You just keep it simple and do what works for you. You don't need to overthink it. But having a shipping station will help once you start getting 10 plus orders a day, so you can just have a nice seamless process. So it is so far 11:30. USPS is coming to pick it up, so I'm going to go drop those packages outside so they can come and grab them, and then we're going to go and eat lunch and answer some more of your questions. Just got done with lunch. It is about 12:30 and I'm going to be jumping back into the workday. But before that, I want to answer some of your guys' comments and questions. This one is from Bobby Loves to Thrift, a longtime viewer of the channel. Appreciate you, Bobby. And she's saying something about the Goodwill bins. Let me know if you guys are experiencing this as well. But she goes, our Goodwill bins are doing this VIP program where you have to pay to be the first to go through the bins and that costs extra. So you stand and you wait if you don't pay, and then 30 minutes you get to wait. It's such a waste of time. The program is called the Best Bins. Our regular stores are way too high, and this district is picking all the meat off the bone, including sending lots to online, heading to the next state over more often. Okay, so that's crazy, and that is just another way that Goodwill is trying to make more money, right? To increase their bottom line. And I haven't experienced anything like that, but it makes sense that they would do something like that. You know, the Goodwill bins for me is something that, you know, I live by a couple of them, but I'm starting to phase that out of my business model. But yeah, it sounds like, you know, just more and more people getting involved in reselling. You're going to see more and more competition. So things like that don't surprise me. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you guys are also experiencing that around. So another comment about, this is by CJ Speno. How do you deal with clothing that is new with tags, but it smells like the thrift store? You don't want to wash it because it might mess up the tags. And yeah, I just suggested, you know, off the top of my head, the best thing is, and this is actually good for used shoes too, but if you have like an ozone generator, you can look them up on Amazon. You know, they're $50, $70, but I think they're worth it. And if you're able to put that outside and take like an 18-gallon tub and then put whatever items that, you know, smell from the thrift store, but they're new with tags or used shoes, it's really hard to get that smell out of shoes, and just put it under that tub with the ozone generator for 20, 30 minutes, and that's going to remove a lot of the smells. So you could try that. Some people said, if you mix baking soda and vinegar, or try baking soda or vinegar and just like lightly spray it. Sometimes that absorbs a lot of the smells. But other than that, if the item's new with tags, it's going to be like either of those options because you don't want to wash it because of the tags. You could possibly get away with putting it on like a low heat with in the dryer and then putting in some kind of fabric, you know, what is it, a fabric sheet in there to help kind of pull out that smell. So you could try those couple things, but yeah, that's always been a tough one as far as like figuring out, you know, how to get those smells out. So what is the best way to remember the brands for a newbie like me? And that is just like kind of going back to watching some suggested channels, and just watching their what sold videos, watching their Bolo brand lists, videos, watching their thrift haul videos. You don't need to watch them, but more just listen to them. And that's how you're going to gain knowledge, fast track you to the knowledge that you need. When I first started, like I said, about 4 to 6 brands that I knew of. I wasn't even, you know, big into clothing, but over time, as I got to learn what other people were picking up, then I started adding that to my vocabulary, my knowledge base. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So that's probably the best way to fast track you is just listen to other people that are doing successful in their reselling business, and listen to what types of brands that they're picking up. And also too, when you're out sourcing and thrifting, start looking up every single brand and start checking sell-through rates, average sale price. That way you may find brands that aren't on the internet as far as being talked about, and that way you could start to build up a good knowledge base there. But I think when it comes to being new at anything, the more you do something, the better you're going to get. So those are the things that I would recommend. All right, so let's get back into the shop and start putting away 60 to 80 items, and then we'll jump into doing some photos for the day. All right, so now you guys are probably wondering why I have all these stacks of clothing. Is because basically when I went to start this wholesale business for real estate, I took a break from putting away items. And now I'm kind of biting the bullet on that, as I'm now slowly starting to put these items away. But I guess the biggest blessing from it all is now I get to go back and double check some of these items that are already listed, but maybe items I don't even want in my store anymore. You know, I know for sure it's like, what the heck is this doing in my store? Lauren Conrad, size extra small. So I'm going to be going through all of these stacks of clothing and kind of picking out the items that aren't good, and then just ending the listing. And then I'm going to throw them in a box or bags for when we do a yard sale. I'm just going to either give them away free or $1 if anyone will buy them. So that's what I'm doing now, is every day going through these piles, picking out 10, 20 items a day, ending the listings, and then just removing that junk from my store. So I'm going to be working on this. This usually takes me about 60 to 80 items to be able to put, tag them and put them in these boxes and then put them on the shelves. Usually takes me about an hour. So let's jump into that now. We'll take some photos and then we'll jump into the listing process right after. All right, so I just put away about 60 items, took me about 35 minutes, and I did eliminate about 11 items out of my store that I found that were just not good to be listed in the first place. So as I continue to take this stack down, I'm looking through items, seeing if it's even worth keeping, and then I'm putting it in the donate pile if not. So now that I'm done with that task, I'm gonna be grabbing some items from my car, which I picked up at the Goodwill yesterday, and we're gonna be listing those, taking photos of them, and then we're gonna be going through the listing process. All right, so now we got this bag full of 20 to 30 pieces of clothing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay them down flat, and then we're going to start the photo process. I usually, between 20 sets of photos shouldn't take me more than 20 to 25 minutes. Usually average between 8 to 10 photos per item. So yeah, we're gonna take everything out, lay it down flat, and knock out this photo process, and then we're gonna get onto the listing process after that. All right, so just finished up taking photos. It took me some time because I had to stop right in between taking all the photos to write up a contract. So we are going under contract with a property that we are buying here locally, and I look to take that contract and to sell it to an end buyer. So I had to go and run and do that. So now it's about 4:30. So we're gonna take all these photos that I just did, 20 sets of photos that normally take me about 30 minutes. Took me a little longer this time, and I'm gonna take them, upload those photos to Dropbox, and then I'm gonna download them on my computer upstairs, and then I'm gonna start working on the listings. All right, so just got done sending this contract out, and now I'm gonna hop on the computer to basically show you kind of looking at seasonality and things like that on eBay, and just kind of what I was mentioning earlier in the video. All right, so what I was talking about earlier in the video was checking out this research tool so you could be able to figure out the seasonality for the types of clothes that you're selling. So you're first going to go into your seller hub or your seller dashboard, and you're just going to click research. And once you do that, it's going to bring you to a page that has Terapeak on it, and it's taking a while to load, but okay, there we go. Well, we'll figure out what's going on there. But let's just type in men's jackets in the search bar. And I usually like to do 3 years at the most, so I could be able to see the last few seasons. When is a good time to buy jackets? So once that loads, it gives you a nice line graph. But then you're going to click this button here, so it takes you to the bar graph. And it's going to give you a good idea of when you should be buying jackets and when you should stop buying jackets. So you can see here, early on in 2021, it starts to taper off late April, and then really starts to hit a downtrend between, May, June, July, and August. And it's not until like the end of August is when it starts to hit this uptrend. So when would be a good time to start buying jackets? Towards the end of August, maybe early August, to start ramping up your inventory, because more buyers are searching for those items on eBay. And you could see in 2022, it peaked out in 2021 around end of December, and then it started to level out until about February. And then once it hit February, it started its complete downtrend all the way until August 29th. So once, February, end of February to August, you should probably slow down on your jacket buying and then start to ramp it back up early August to be able to take advantage of all these buyers starting to search for jackets. And same thing in 2023 of last year, it's the same pattern. So once you start to recognize these patterns, you're able to predict when you should be buying shorts, when you should be buying jackets, jeans. Start doing it with all the categories in clothing so you could be able to figure out when's a good time to buy and when's a good time to stop buying these items. It was helpful for me to be able to understand the seasonality and to start to fill your store with a nice balanced array of items. I'm starting to add in quite a bit more shorts in my store because I don't have a ton of them. So when they say the summer slowdown happens, as a clothing seller, it's good to have a good balance of clothing so you're able to kind of accommodate to the summer and the winter seasons. So I hope that's helpful for you. I know it was for me, but I get that question from time and time again, like, hey, when's a good time to buy jackets, jeans, and whatnot. I just say use the research tool on Terapeak and be able to figure out what's going on in your clothing niche or whatever you may be selling. It's not just limited to clothing as well. So whatever it may be, use this. You could also use Google Trends. That's a good one. That's kind of a larger data set, but it's just basically looking at the search traffic during the times of the year. So yeah, hope it was helpful for you. All right, so I just finished those listings and I hope that this video was helpful. Comment down below if you want to see more behind the scenes, kind of day to day, kind of day in the life of kind of what I do in my reselling business. And if you guys want maybe some resources, you could check out link down below as well for, there's a eBay Adam Specifics guide. There is a Bolo brand list. So I hope you all have a blessed rest of the day. We'll see you on Wednesday. That is when I'll release the next video. Take care.